A warm welcome to one and all. Today, let's discuss about source reduction and on-site storage method. Myself, Dr. V. Godwin Sharmila, Associate Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, Rohini College of Engineering and Technology. First, let's see about source reduction. Source reduction is the prevention of waste at the source itself, which is one of the first and foremost method of waste management practices, which was implemented highly at the site of manufacturing of the product at the source of selling of the product in the market. So it is various activities has been implemented to reduce the waste at the source itself. So by implementing the source reduction process, the volume of the waste generated can be reduced, the reusability of the product can be enhanced, and also the toxicity level that was entered into the environment can also be prevented. So, by reducing the waste at the sources, the cost as well as the expenses which was spent during the disposal of the solid waste can be minimized. So, proper technique has to be implemented to reduce the waste at the sources, mainly targeted to convert the waste into the useful product. The major purpose of source reduction is product reuse, material volume reduction, toxicity reduction, increased product lifetime, and decreased consumption. Product reuse. The product reuse is nothing, the reusability of the product must be improved. So using the reusable product, for example, instead of disposing those waste into the landfill, we can reduce the amount of material that are to be managed as waste. For example, the reusable shopping bags is one of the best example of the product reusability. The material volume reduction in the sense reducing the volume of the material used, which may changes the amount of waste entering into the waste stream, thereby controlling the waste generation and also to the disposal. For example, buying of the material in the bulk container may reduce the generation of the packed waste, that is the waste paper or the plastic bags used for the packing was minimized. Then the toxicity reduction. The toxicity reduction is the minimization of the toxic compound which was exist in the waste. That is, for example, we are using the pipe system, pipe connections, and also the paint products for our home usage purpose. So when we are disposing those waste into the waste container, these substances contain a toxic substances like lead, cadmium, and various minerals existence. So this may induces the toxicity when it was mixed with the organic waste component, may affect the recovery stages of the disposal process. So in order to minimize this, the source reduction was implemented to dispose of these type of waste in an efficient way to reduce the toxic level. Then increased product lifetime. That is mainly the source reduction facilitates the use of the product with longer lifetime. For example, the shorter lived alternative that is designed and are discarded as waste can be reused by the people and can be used continuously for a certain amount of duration. For example, the tire that were punctured can be sealed and can be reused to improve the longevity of the product. So the increased product lifetime is proper managing of those waste and reusability of the waste can be increased. Decreased consumption. Decreased consumption indicates the reduced consumption of the material that are not reusable. For example, using a reusable shopping bag instead of picking up plastic bag from the store. And also proper education must be provided to the consumer that are difficult to dispose of or the harmful product to be disposed to the environment must be essential. So that the material buying capability was altered, hence the people used to get the environmental consciousness. Now let's see about on-site storage methods Effect of storage, materials used for container. We all know the proper storage of waste plays an important role in reducing the environmental impact of the waste. For example, if the waste was not properly stored, or the waste if not stored and is dumped as such into the environment prior to the collection, which may pollute the land, water, air and affect the human health and the and causes ecological imbalance. Hence, which may affect the municipality to process those waste in a well efficient manner, and also it increases the expenses and the consumption of proper treatment of the waste in a useful manner, and also causes a health problem, and also induces the generation of order, and augment the excess liberation of the flies, rats, wandering dogs, cats and fires, which may be induces the improves the or increases the difficulty level of managing the waste in an efficient way. During this on-site processing, on-site handling plays an important role, since in this the individual or the public has a major responsibility to proper managing the waste at the source of generation, which may protect the public health also. It is mainly associated with proper handling of the solid waste prior while we are placing or disposing of those waste into the container before storage by the collection member. So this type of on-site handling process may occur at the time of collection, before, after or during the storage process. So the major importance of on-site storing of waste, its reduction of volume and the transformation of the waste into a newer form, and to recover the material that are useful to the people, and also the reusability, and to improve the reusability of the material. So in order to proper handling of the waste, we are adopting three methods: sorting, shredding and grinding. On-site storage. This is the first phase involved in the managing of the solid waste at the source of generation, mainly at the home level. It requires temporary storage, that is by placing a dustbin to the nearby area is one of the method of on-site storage techniques. That is, from the homes, individual, industry and other commercial sectors, the waste has been generated, has been disposed or dumped at the source into the dustbin or the container which was kept in the nearby area, which may also prevent the generation of the foul smell and hazardous substances, to enhance the proper processing of the storage system. So from the container it was disposed, the collection member may collect those container at the proper time through the proper method, and which may prevent the excessive hazardness to the environment. This is the storage container which we are using at the source of collection, which we can see in our local societal environment. In this container, usually garbages, refuses which was generated from the kitchen and other works are collected and are stored properly. The container must be designed and constructed in a waterproof manner, and it should be designed in a way of, that is, it must be a low cost and it must be lightweight, and it must be in a proper shape, and it should be resistant to corrosion with long durability and strength. So these container must require one or two crew members to carry and handle those waste, that is for loading and unloading of the waste. So this container should be placed in a proper distance on a proper platform which is at least 30 centimeter above the ground level with the proper interval of duration. So it must be emptied in a regular basis in order to prevent the unwanted entry of the harmful gases, unwanted generation of the harmful gases, unwanted growth of the flies, unwanted generation of odor. So it must be cleaned in a daily basis and maintained in a daily basis. So on the other hand, the steel, ferrous container are heavy and subjected to corrosion. So this type of material are highly prevented to manufacturing this storage container. Wooden container are also avoided because it can retain and absorb moisture readily when during the rainy season, and it can't be cleaned in a regular basis because it may absorb the liquid content which may causes the bad odor. So mainly plastic material has been used for making those storage container. Container size, that is capacity. So prior to the loading of the waste, the proper size of the container should be made. Hence the collection members or the crew member can easily lift or haul those waste container to the disposal site. Usually the container size must be 80 to 180 liters and should be mixed, and the waste material which was in the mixed form should not exceed 120 to 128 liters, and the rubbish waste which was disposed of should be up to the limit of 200 liters. Office waste is about 10 to 20 liters, kitchen waste 40 liters, garbages 40 to 80 liters. So the quantity of the waste should not exceed the level of the quantity provided. So usually the plastic liner has been used for preparing those can, because instead of plastic, if you are using metal or wooden container, it may cause the corrosion, and it may also absorb the water, affects the durability of the material. So the galvanized metal is preferable for garbage storage because it is highly resistant to the corrosion. In order to make the lightweight storage container, the plastic can was used, and also in order to carry the bulk weight or because if the waste was in huge quantity, if they are collected in a container, in a metal or the metal container, it is heavy to carry. So in order to carry those heavy and the bulk waste generation, the plastic container can be highly used. And also a concrete platform is provided to drain off the waste, water or sewer, that is if the organic waste may contain the water inside existence, so the moisture existent can be disposed of with a proper opening outlet at the end of the container through the proper sewerage system within the concrete platform, which was provided beneath the concrete platform at which the container was placed. As we already know about the importance of on-site processing, the on-site processing mainly focused to reduce the volume and to alter the physical form of the waste, and also to recover the usable material from the disposed waste. Usually there are two types of container can be used during the collection system, that is stationary container and hauled container. Here the stationary container is the container has been placed in a stationary way, that is the container was placed at the regular interval of time at a specific point. That is, this stationary container are used for the contents to be transferred to the collection vehicle at the site of storage. In case of, it is usually used in the small level areas in order to collect the small amount of waste. For example, for the single family household, that is in our locality, residential areas, mainly this type of stationary container are used. Hauled container. The hauled container has been highly used for the content to be directly transferred to the process plant, that is to the transfer station or to the disposal site for emptying before being returned to the storage site. So this type of container has been used for carrying larger and heavier one, and this hauled container are usually handled by the mechanical method of handling. Thank you.